Detroit Lions. Oh, baby, that is big time stuff. Touchdown, 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 Detroit Lions. Oh, baby, 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 baby.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is Tuesday, so you know what that means. It's time for Touchdown Detroit Lions over here on Syndicate Sports Detroit. I'm your host, Nick Harkson. Say what's up once you're in here, and we will get this thing rolling. It is Tuesday, March 5th. That means we are less than a week away from free agency. And we are already starting to make some moves bringing guys back. As you can see on the ticker tape news down there below. I've got some of the people that we're bringing back, but say what's up in the comments. I see you. What's going on, Rick? John Peterson, good to see you back in here. Yes, we can get this thing rolling, but it is peak of the offseason now. You know, we are free agency time. The draft's coming up pretty soon. We can start making some real deal moves here soon, and we'll see what the Lions are going to do, but first and foremost, what's up, Zach J, Hatter's House? What it do? Yes, good to see you in here. But yeah, Lions have made some moves. They re-signed tight end Shane Zylstra. And Shane, you know, he was out the whole entire year last season due to some friendly fire. I believe it happened at practice. Suffered a pretty bad injury, and he didn't play at all. But, you know, he did show some nice spurts the season prior to last. He had some real nice games. I believe he even had a 3-touchdown game in there. So I don't think it's a bad signing. Now, obviously, it's for depth because we got our guy, Sam Laporta. But, you know, what do you guys think about bringing Shane Zylstra back? I'm just starting off with that news to get everybody rolling in here. But, Lady Lion, good to see you back. Yes, and Hatter's House, extend Will Harris now. You know, I did see an article out there by Pride of Detroit, I believe it was. Or maybe it was Ben Raven. I'm not sure, but one of the guys, one of the beat writers for the Lions, they did post, you know, they said that the Lions don't have much depth at corner or at D-back right now, and they're wondering if we should bring back Will Harris. And they kind of made an argument for it, so I don't know. You keep putting that out in the air. It might happen. I'm not sure I want it to happen, but it might happen because, like we said, Rick likes to say that Brad Holmes has some, you know, leaked nudes out there, and Will Harris has a hold of them. And that's what's happening. That's why he's going to keep staying in Detroit, but we'll see. Rick also says right here, Brad's going to trade everyone, start from scratch, just to prove us all wrong. Oh, my goodness. I hope that doesn't happen. Dustin, what's up? Good to see you in here. It has been a minute. Good to have you back. Yeah, like I said, we are starting to climb that peak in the off season here. You know, we got free agency coming up here real soon, followed by the draft. The combine just happened. There were some people out there who impressed. But yeah, let's talk about what the Lions just did. If you weren't here, the Lions re-signed Shane Zylstra. He was out all year last year. It's a depth move because we got our guy Sam Laporta. But he did show some shining moments. But, you know, there's going to be some competition there next year. Still got James Mitchell. Not sure what they're going to do with Brock Wright. But we know who the big dog, who the number one tight end is there now. And it's Sam Laporta. But I still like the move for depth because he did show some glimpses there the season prior to last. Because he didn't play last year. But we also brought back C.J. Mosley. Now, I have seen some, you know, back and forth views on this, looking at the X, looking at Twitter. But, you know, we talked about this last week a little bit. We kind of predicted that this would happen. Everybody in the group chat, we predicted this, right? And got him back for a good deal, I think. And it's going to be another prove-it one. I don't see this as us going out and getting our CB1, though. I did see a lot of people are like, oh, God dang it. Brad Holmes, he's trying to play it cheap. We're going to have Cam Sutton and Emmanuel Mosley this year. Now, I think they're both going to be on the team, yes, but I see this more of a depth move. I think Brad Holmes is smarter than that, and hopefully we go and still address the CB1 position in the draft or free agency. This is going to be friendly. Emmanuel Mosley really wasn't going to be looked at much elsewhere because of his injuries, and the Lions are giving him another shot. I think it's a good idea before he was injured. He did have some good seasons there in San Francisco and shows that he can play the position well, and he was on the rise. Now, is he going to be the same coming back off of these ACL injuries? I don't know. They're tough injuries, and, I don't know how he's going to fit with the Lions. We didn't get to see hardly any play out of him because it was pretty much, a few plays, and he was off the field already. But I like the move. I like it for depth. I hope that we still go out, address the cornerback 1 position in the draft or in free agency. But I like the move. It's going to be a cheap deal. And he's proven that he can play in this league before. The injuries do suck. But if he can come back, play a full season, I think it will definitely help out this team. Now, like I said, not a CB1, and we all know Cam Sutton is not a cornerback 1, so we still have to address that. But I'm going to go over here, see what you guys are saying real quick before I move on too much further. What's up, Kim? Good to see you in here. Zach J says, Mosley better be league minimum. He played 1 snap last year. Mosley better be free this year is what Rick's saying. Yeah, and I expect that big time. I don't think that they released any of the details on the contract yet. I'm over here looking on Sports Track and below the cap or above the cap. I'm looking at all of the ones where they say how much the deals go, and I have not seen it yet. Maybe it's breaking. If you know it, let me know. But it definitely should be very low. He's hasn't played hardly at all the last few years, and those are big time injuries. So should be very low, should be very team friendly, and giving him another prove it year. Now, if he gets hurt again, we got to let him walk. We got to. I do see what Brad Holmes is seeing because he has skill. And if he can come back and provide something, just a depth piece, little rotational piece, it'll be a good re-signing. But what do you think about the Mosley re-signing? You with it? Obviously, I don't see it as, him being the missing piece to the puzzle. We still need to go and get some more corners. But, a few, I think. 1 in the draft, maybe 1 in free agency, maybe a few in the draft. But what do you think? You think the Mosley signing was a good re-signing, or should we have let him just walk and gone elsewhere? I mean, I guess we're going to have to see the details of the contract first, right? But yeah, speaking of cornerback, there were some corners who showed out in the combine this last week. And we can talk about that. Let's talk about the combine a little bit. There was some good things to come out of the combine, especially the cornerback position. Wiggins, his 40 time. Crazy. 4.29, I believe. Very fast. And he's one of the top corners. He can cover. You watch the tape. He's good to go. Now, does he get to 29? I don't know, especially after the combine that he had, but he did impress. Another guy who impressed at the cornerback position, corner, not quarter, was Quinion Mitchell out of Toledo. The guy had another, he had an impressive 40. And he's been projected to go to us in a few mock drafts. I wouldn't mind it. He's coming from a smaller school. It's not too far from Detroit at all. It's in Ohio, but Toledo. But, I like the kid. I like what I've seen. He says that, he thinks he's proven that he can play with the big dogs. He's got a chip on his shoulder coming from a smaller school. So I like that mentality too, because he's going to come into the league feeling like he has to prove something, even though he is one of the top corners in the draft. I still think, coming from that smaller school, they want to prove to everybody else, like, hey, it doesn't matter where I came from. I'm here in the league now, and I'm going to show you that I belong here. So I like Quinion Mitchell, and I like that he showed out in the combine. Now, the Bama boys were another one that I was looking forward to, and I think that a few of them tweaked something. But they said that they're going to go over everything again in the pro day. And I'm looking forward to seeing their pro day. But like I said, in past episodes, yes, the combine is valuable in some ways. You get to see these guys' athleticism. You get to see some good things out of top players. And it does help a little bit. But Brad and Dan are more there to pick the players' brains. They're more there for the mental. They want to see if these guys have what it takes to play for Detroit. Because like Dan and Brad have both said in past press conferences, you have to be a certain player to come to Detroit and play. Not everybody can come and play in Detroit. And I love that. And, we're going to see what happens. But there were guys who I think definitely fit the mold in Detroit in this. But I'm going to hop over here real quick. I see you guys going off. Hatter's House said it's low risk, high reward. We're talking about Mosley. Hatter's House also says Rick for real, talking about he needs to be free, talking about Mosley. Rick says, I'm okay with it, talking about the Mosley deal again. Kind of seen it coming. Yeah, we talked about it last week. We did see this coming. You were the one, I believe, that said, he's either going to come back on a team-friendly deal or he's probably going to be sitting on the couch because he's not going to get much elsewhere. MSU Detroit fan, hello there. Good to see you back. Yeah, we're talking right now the re-signings of Zylstra and Emmanuel Mosley. And then we got into a little bit of corner talk in the combine. But good to see you back in here. Hatter's House said we need to trade up for a top corner. Maybe a Lassiter might drop to us. Yeah, Lassiter out of Georgia. He's good. I think I'm starting to like him more and more. As I'm watching more tape, I think he's solid. Like I said, I think this corner class goes pretty deep. So, I think Lassiter could fall to us, and he wouldn't be bad at all. Now, there's other guys in the draft who we might not go corner. We might not go corner with the 29th pick. I personally would like to go there, or maybe D-line if the right O-lineman's there. I did see, a few mocks having us getting some O-line at 29, but I would prefer to go corner. And Lassiter is a guy who has some upside, big upside coming out of this corner class who could fall to us. But yeah, I still think I'm with you. I want to trade up, get a top corner. It's a position of need. We need it. But Brad Holmes has said he doesn't draft for need. He drafts for the best players available, the ones that they love. So hopefully it's a corner or, somebody that we need. But all right, MSU Detroit fan, I looked at Mitchell recruiting profile. Homework was a top high school prospect, only went to Toledo due to bigger schools not liking his academics. And that happens. That happens a lot. So, this is football. You do have to be, cerebral, but I think, there's football smart guys and there's school smart guys. Not everybody can do the grades thing and play well on the field. And I don't care too much about academics when it comes to my corner. I want them to be fast. I want them to be cover. I want them to be physical. Come up and make a tackle. Now, if you're a quarterback, that's something else. And I trust that he's still smart. I mean, that's a D1 school, so he's still got there. He just didn't get to the top schools. But yeah, I like Mitchell, and I would not mind picking him up at all. Rick says, I had it on the TV, but I didn't pay attention to the combine like in past years. Yeah, I did for a little bit. I think, I watched the 40s on a lot of the days. That's just my favorite combine, event, I guess, if you would say. But yeah, I didn't watch it all this year either. And I really don't have any favorites coming out of the combine either. Still don't have any draft crushes like we talked about. And but there are good players, and I'm excited to see what we go and do. Alrighty, MSU Detroit fan. I definitely like him, especially if the guys we want are gone. I believe you're talking about Mitchell. Yeah. And who knows, maybe that's the guy we want. I don't know what they're thinking, but it's tough being at 29 this year. The past years, we've been, top 10 or right outside, and we're like, okay, we have a good shot at getting who we want. And this year, it's going to be a lot of people falling. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. All righty, Lady Lion. I'm okay with Mosley. I trust Brad is on it. Yes, I trust in Brad Holmes too. I'm not drinking his bathwater like Lions Syndicate. Our boy Derek said on Twitter. I don't know if he said that. He says, who's out there drinking Brad Holmes bathwater? Because I don't think he liked the Mosley pickup. And yeah, so I don't know. Go check out what he's got to say about that when he goes live over there on Lions Syndicate. But I'm not drinking Brad's bathwater, but I'm definitely trusting in Brad all day. He's proven to us year after year after year that he knows what he's doing besides when it comes to the kicking position. Rick says, you have a great memory, Nick. I don't know about that. I don't know if that's a joke or not. But yeah, I do remember some things, but some things I need to be reminded of. Okay. Hatter's House. We have so many options. It's crazy. It is. It's crazy, man. And I'm excited to see what we do. We can go in a ton of different ways, and we better address that defense, though. That's all I got to say. We better address that defense. Zach J, I understand, taking best player available, but if Brad takes a tight end in the first round, I'm not going to be happy. Yeah, I hope he's smarter than that. I really hope he's smarter than that because, I mean, our boy Laporta, he's great. You know, we got him. He's going to be a stud for years to come as long as he can stay healthy. Hopefully that knee is good to go, and I trust that it is. He's a tough guy. He's going to work through it no matter what, and he should be 100%. It shouldn't bother him the rest of the way. But, yeah, Laporta's our guy. I'm going to lose faith in Brad, too, if he goes out and gets a tight end in even the first few rounds. We got some depth there now. Laporta's good enough. We should not go and get a tight end in the first round. I'm with you. I'm with you. I do like the best player available, but, you know, sometimes we got to be a little bit smart. Look at our holes. If there's a really good player at that position, fits our mold, grab him. That's all I'm saying. MSU Detroit fan. Not everyone went to Harvard like Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's right. Not everybody can, you know, what do they say? C's gets degrees. That's all you need, baby. Get to the league. That talent will shine through. You don't need those academics. We got the field smarts. We're not the book smarts. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure the kid is smart. All right. MSU Detroit fan says, also, the Lions taking a wide receiver in the second round is getting talked about a lot. Yes, so let's talk about it. You know, at the Combine, they had a lot of visits. And some of them were wide receivers. Now, would you be mad if the Lions went and got a wide receiver in the second round or at 29? Because some of these receivers are probably going to go earlier. You know, they're projected to go kind of early. But they visited with wide receiver Xavier Legette out of South Carolina, wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. out of LSU, wide receiver Devontae Walker out of North Carolina. And all three of those guys, I believe, are like 6'2", 6'3", and 6'4". So big receivers. So, you know, they got their eye on something there. But then they also visited with, these were other positions, offensive tackle Kingsley, and sorry about butchering this name, Sumatalala. I don't know how to BYU. Sorry, Sumatala. And then edge rusher Nelson Cesar out of Houston. And I'm sorry if I'm butchering these names. These guys are all new to me. Not all new, but, you know. Edge Marshawn Nealand out of WMU. Edge Darius Robinson out of Missouri. He was a guy who I thought really would fit that Dan Campbell style. You know, when he was at the podium, the way he was talking, he just wants to play football. You can tell he loves the game. And I think he would be a good fit for the Lions. They also met with edge Braylon Trice out of Washington. We all know about him. D tackle Johnny Newton. He's also goes by Jashawn, I think. Jerron. I don't know. He goes by another name as well. But that kid, I don't know if you saw about him. I think that he fits the mold big time. Johnny Newton out of Illinois, D tackle. I don't know if you saw what he said, but Colton Pouncey out from The Athletic asked him immediately once he got out of the interview with the Lions, how it went. And he said, they F with me and I F with them, but he said the words. And, I like that. He's got that grit. Go watch his tape. The kid is a monster on the interior defensive line. I think him and Aleem McNeil would just wreak havoc all year long for years to come. He gets to the quarterback, and he also stuffs the run. He's got great tape. Go watch it. I really like Johnny Newton, and I think that he fits Detroit, like a glove. Him and Dan Campbell, him and Aleem McNeil, him and that defense, they could do great things, nasty things for years to come. I like the kid. I like that kid a lot. They also formally visited at the Combine with linebacker Aaron Casey out of Indiana, cornerback Kool-Aid out of Alabama. We all know Kool-Aid McKinstry. Also, cornerback Quinion Mitchell out of Toledo, safety Siani Vaki out of Utah. Sorry, I'm butchering these names. I'll get them right if they get drafted to the Lions. I'll get them right if you get drafted to the Lions. But if you don't, I'm going to continue to butcher your name. But if you're in the Lions, I'll get it right. All right, safety Malik Mustafa out of Wake Forest. And that's who they had their formal visits with at the Combine, according to Pride of Detroit. They also visited with cornerback Quantez Stiggers from the CFL, and apparently he's a top 30 visit. So those are guys that we visited with at the Combine. I'm sure that we're going to visit with more. We're going to go to pro days before the draft and whatnot. But, yeah, the wide receiver position that you mentioned is very interesting, and it looks like they're trying to go get a big body guy who can be that go up and get it type receiver, red zone threat, and we need that. I love J-Mo and Amon-Ra, but we need a big body guy who we can send it to the corner and just shoot, and he can go up and just get it. We need a go up and get it type of guy. Now, some people say J-Mo's that guy. He's more of a burner. I think J-Mo's going to have a breakout season, and he has gone up and gotten balls. He definitely has. But we need, that guy who specializes in that. And I personally wouldn't be mad if it was second round if we drafted a wide receiver. At 29, I'm not sure. I kind of want to address defense. I'm not Brad Holmes or Dan Campbell, so I don't know what they're thinking. But what do you guys think? Would you be mad if they did go receiver at 29 or with a second round pick? Let me know. I wouldn't be mad if it was second or after that, but 29, I'm personally not going with it at 29. I'm personally not with it at 29, but let me know what you think. Would you be mad about getting a receiver? And let me know about any of those guys that I talked about. Did you like them? And okay, so I said I didn't have a draft crush. Maybe that Johnny Newton. Maybe he's one of them. Because I liked his tape. I watched his tape, and he just looks like a great player who would fit Detroit perfectly. And him and Aleem on that interior defensive line, it would be great. It would be great. I think. I hope. I don't know. All right, J Mommy, what's up? Good to see you in here. The cornerback from Toledo is starting to look pretty good. I agree. Each week I hear more and more good things about him, and I'm starting to think, I'm liking him too. And if he drops to 29 and our other guys that we wanted first isn't there, get him. Maybe we want him first. I don't know. But yeah, he's a burner. He looks like he can definitely play the position. And like I said earlier, coming out of a smaller school, a lot of the times those guys have that chip on their shoulder and they really want to prove, I belonged with the big dogs the whole time. Like MSU Detroit fans said, he only didn't play for the bigger schools because of his academics. So, he's going to come into the league with something to prove, and I would not mind him being on our team at all. Rick says, I told Derek I want to buy it all. Yeah, okay. I would love to see yours and Derek's interactions back and forth. I would love to see that. I'm going to have to tune in to his next one that you're in there watching and tuning in on. MSU Detroit fan says, I don't mind bringing Mosley back. I see it as a depth move And we can still draft or trade for a cornerback. Yeah, definitely a depth move is what we were talking about here. And like I said, I think we need to address cornerback in the draft for sure or free agency. Right there with you, MSU Detroit fan. Right there with you. Hatter's House, kicker first round. Hatter's House in here for the comedy all day today. Hey, we need a kicker. I don't know about first round, but, Badgley isn't going to cut it forever. But I said it last week, too. I think Dan likes to have these kickers to where he can be like, he can't hit from that range. We got to go for it. Or, he's 11 for 25 from 40-plus outdoors. We're going for it. Dan likes to have that there. So then, when everybody comes in and they're like, why didn't you kick it? He's like, well, look at Badgley's stats. Of course. No, I'm just kidding. Dan's going to go for it all the time, no matter what. That's just what he does. Rick, the Lions were talked about to draft a D lineman in the first last season. We all know how that worked out. Draft experts are geniuses. Yeah, that's why I'm not even really giving my input on what I think the Lions are going to do this year because I have no idea. I thought we were going edge. I think, and it's a good thing I'm not drafting because the guy that I had projected, I don't even remember his name anymore. But it's the edge out of Texas Tech. Is who I think I had us projected to get my first mock draft, which is, good thing I'm not drafting because I love that we got Gibbs. I love our first 4 picks. Gibbs, Campbell, Laporta, Branch, all going to be studs in the league, already studs in the league. And I'm hoping that the guys after that pan out. We didn't see anything out of Broderick Martin. We didn't see much out of any of the other guys really, but hopefully we have a plan for them moving forward and they turn out to be some diamonds in the rough that Brad Holmes had a hunch on and just another genius move by him. But yeah, way to point that out, Rick. We never know what's going through Brad or Dan's mind on who they're going to get because we definitely all thought they were going D-line and they said, nope, screw you guys, screw all the draft experts. And then they got a bad grade, but then now at the end of the season, they won the best draft class. So look how it turns out. Yeah. MSU Detroit fans. Seattle released former Lions. Yes. All right, let's get into it. I was gonna wait to get into it, but there it is. Somebody brought it up. Let's talk about it. Yeah, they released both of them, but we're gonna talk about Quandre Diggs in particular. Former Lion, a guy I was very upset about when we traded him away. Fatty P, Matt Patricia. I hate that guy. But, Quandre Diggs is available now. And we have not re-signed C.J. Gardner-Johnson yet. Seen a ton of people saying, let's bring home Diggs. Let's bring him back. Come home to Detroit, Diggs. Seeing all those comments underneath his posts, about being fired on his day off, all that. He's funny. He posted that. But, the way I feel about it, if C.J. Gardner-Johnson is going elsewhere, if he's already made up his mind that he's not coming back to Detroit, or if we've made up our mind that we're not re-signing him, yes, I would love to bring Diggs back, put him in that safety rotation, be a mentor to Kirby Joseph and Ifeatu Melifonwu. But he would be the third safety in my eyes because Kirby Joseph and Iffy are on the rise. But he could be a great mentor to him, and he could still play. I believe 6 out of the last 7 seasons, he's had 3 interceptions each season. So, he's still got it, but he is 31 years old. So he's getting up there. Now, there is an upside to him being older. We could probably get him for a very cheap deal. But if I had to choose between C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Quandre Diggs right now, at where they're at in their career right now, even though I love Diggs and his mentality and I think he would be great for Detroit, C.J. Gardner-Johnson is 26 years old. And I just think he's got a lot more football left in him, a lot better football left in him. I think if he would have played a full season with the Lions, we'd be begging for him to come back. He did have not so good of an ending to the year, especially that San Francisco game. And a lot of people were mad about him waving goodbye. It was a bonehead move. I didn't like it either. He talks trash. That's what he does. Now, I think Diggs also talks trash on the field. He's not so outspoken, on Twitter and all that. But right now, if I had to pick out of the two, where they're at in their careers right now, I think I would bring back CJ, GJ. But Diggs probably go cheaper. And if Gardner Johnson is walking, or if we don't intend on re-signing him, then I would love to bring Diggs back, because I think, yes, he would fit the Dan Campbell style of play. I think that, he comes up and he lays that hit. We all know that. That's why I initially liked Diggs in the first place. So I think he's good. He is getting older. I would personally bring back CJ, GJ over Diggs. But then here's something else, though, too, that I saw and I would like. We all remember Deshaun Elliott. I believe he's an unrestricted free agent this year. And he played pretty well for us when he was healthy. He can cover. He can hit. I think he was just starting to play his best football for us towards the end of his tenure with us, with the Lions. And I saw people saying, bring Deshaun Elliott back. I wouldn't mind that. If we got to fill a spot at safety, if we're not bringing C.J. Gardner-Johnson back and we want to keep that rotation and get another good safety in there, Deshaun Elliott is another safety who I think we could get for a low price, who has proven he plays well in our system. But if it were Diggs or C.J., GJ, I'm going C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I want to see what you guys have to say in the comments. If we're up to C.J. Gardner-Johnson or Diggs, who you going with? Or Deshaun Elliott, would you like to bring him back? Or if there's somebody else out there that you have your eye on, let me know. I want to know what you're thinking about that. Until we get there, I'm going to go to the comments. J Mommy Diggers has a neat story. The coach saw that he didn't play college football. Spent 1 year in the XFL, that's right. Figured he wouldn't last a day, ended up being defensive back of the year amongst rookies. I believe you're talking about the guy out of the CFL, correct? Yeah, because he has an interesting way of getting to the pros. Yeah, and I like it. That's a really cool way, because not everybody goes to college. I'm going to college. I went to college. I'm back in school right now, just finishing up some more, just trying to further my education, get, that raise and whatnot. That's really what I'm back in school for right now, just for a short temporary time. But yeah, not everybody has that way, and it's really cool to see that there are alternative paths to get to the NFL. So never give up on your dreams, even if you get denied from college or if you can't afford it, whatever the deal is. Don't give up on your dreams. This guy is a story right here to prove that you can do anything you set your mind to. Now, he's probably 1 of 1, but yeah, great story there. And way to point that out, J Mommy. I forgot all about that. Rick, says, I will not be mad with any position. We didn't need a running back or tight end last season. Brad just improved the position. Yeah. Okay. I'll tell you this, though. Tight end, I don't think we need to improve on it. Now, we could go add some more depth, maybe get a better second tight end, but Sam Laporta is a stud. I think he's going to be one of the best tight ends. He already is in the league, but I think he's going to be like the number 1 tight end for at least a few seasons here coming up very soon. So I would personally be like, come on, man. Why are we getting a tight end right here? But, I will trust in Brad. I'll trust it. Maybe he'll draft a tight end, throw him out there. An athletic tight end who can also play receiver. Who knows? But personally, please stay away from the tight end at 29 is all I'm saying. Mary Peterson, good to see you in here. Yes, J Mommy says last year Holmes got 4 of the top 16. That doesn't happen often. No, it does not. And I'm loving it. I'm loving every draft class that he's had so far, but this last one was amazing. Now, we did have a lot of early picks, and we made them work. We made the best out of them. So who knows what we do this year? Starting off later, but Brad has proven a lot of our guys who we get, a little bit later, they're still good. Look at Branch and Laporta. They're not late, but they're around that 29 spot. Both excellent players who are going to be great for years to come. We got Amon-Ra St. Brown. Ifatu Melanfawu, Kirby Joseph. These are all guys who came, Aleem McNeil. They came in after the second round and whatnot. So Brad Holmes proves that he can get guys later on. And I'm excited for the draft. We don't need all those early picks to have a good draft. I think he's still going to have a good draft this year. All righty. Zach J, trade him away for peanuts. Who are we talking about? I'm sorry. I got off track. Traded him away for peanuts. That's right. We're talking. Yes. Now I know you're talking about Diggs. My apologies, Zach J. My apologies. That's right. We did though, and it made me mad. Made me very mad. Rick says Diggs is like 60 years old. Well, he's 31. Hold on now. Because I'm older than that. By, at least a few years. So, but yeah, football years. He's getting up there. So, I'm assuming you want CJ Gardner-Johnson over Diggs. And Hatter's House says, I want CJ GJ back. Yeah, I do too. I think that him and Aaron Glenn have a great thing going on. And I don't know what this means, but he did delete all of his posts from his Instagram today. And then he changed his profile picture to him in a Lions uniform. So I don't know what the deleting of all the pictures means, but him posting himself in a Lions uniform, that's good news, right? That looks promising. That looks like maybe they're talking. Maybe they're going to get a deal done. Who knows, though, because also last year, I think Jamal Williams thought that he was coming back to Detroit no matter what. And that I think people even reported that Jamal Williams and the Lions both, were seeing eye to eye and they were about to get a deal done. And then we all know what happened there. So I'm not going to say that anything, there's no writing on the wall, there's no hints, there's nothing until they announce it and that it's official. Because last year I thought Jamal was coming back. There were hints there. He was saying stuff. He was talking to reporters. He was talking to Stephen A. saying, next year we're winning in the North, we the Lions and all this stuff. And we did win the North, but it was without you, Jamal. Now, so I'm not going to look too far into CJ Gardner-Johnson's little post about him in a Lions uniform and his profile picture. I would love it. I would love if that's the sign of him coming back, but I'm not going to read too far into it. Now, speaking of Instagram, I just want to touch on this real quick. Did anybody see Kirby Joseph's story yesterday? If not, I should have had the pictures up. I should have brought the pictures up, but I don't have them ready. His dog, he came home to his dog, his pit bull on his roof. Go and look it up. It's all over. But Kirby Joseph's dog was on his rooftop. And thankfully, sorry, I almost knocked over my mic and it scared me. But thankfully, he got his dog down. He showed a picture. Later said, got him down. He's straight now. But it was hilarious. He goes, how do you get up there? Or I don't know what he said, but he goes, how the hell did he get up there? And showed the picture of his dog on his roof. It was hilarious. Okay, but back to the serious stuff. Back to the real deal stuff. Zach J says he needed to delete all his posts because his inbox was full. That's right. Yeah, you're probably right. Rick says, I'm much older than that myself. But in football years, he's much older than 31. That's right. Yeah, on the roof. That's why I said it like that, a dog on the roof too, Rick. Yes. But, yeah, Diggs getting up there. How would you guys feel about Deshaun Elliott, though? I didn't see any of you guys say anything about that. Maybe you're just content with it. Maybe you don't care. I don't know. I think it would be good to bring the guy back. But let's talk about some free agents, some other ones who are out there. And actually, let's talk about some guys who are not out there, because today was the deadline for teams to franchise tag players. And there were some guys who I wanted to go and maybe get if they didn't end up getting tagged. because we had a lot of money this year. Now, of course, we're going to be spending a lot of that on bringing guys back. I did just see a rumor that now Amon-Ra is set to get 26 to 28 million a year instead of the 25 that was initially rumored. But, you know, we'll see what happens when the deal gets done. As long as the deal gets done, then I'm cool with it. But he's going to be getting a lot of money. Anyways, these other teams franchise tag these players. Not just today. We knew about some of them, but some of them got franchise tagged today. The Cincinnati Bengals franchise tagged wide receiver T. Higgins. Indianapolis Colts tagged wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr. The Jacksonville Jaguars, and this one kind of hurt a little bit, tagged edge Josh Allen. That was one that, you know, he would have cost a lot, but still a young player, still has, you know, a ton left in the tank. He's going to be a force to reckon with in the league for years to come. He should be, but the Jaguars tagged him, so we'd have to trade to go and get him if we wanted him. Carolina Panthers tagged edge Brian Burns. That's another guy who I mentioned in previous weeks, who I said maybe we go and get him. Maybe we break the bank for him, but probably not happening now because he's tagged, so it's not happening. Baltimore Ravens tagged D-tackle Justin Matabuike. Yeah, I can't say his name either, but you know who I'm talking about. Chicago Bears cornerback Jalen Johnson got tagged. Kansas City Chiefs officially tagged L'Jarius Sneed. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers tagged safety Antoine Winfield Jr. I did see something going around, and this is not a rumor. This is just nonsense, if anything. But a Chiefs fan was out there saying, can't wait until he's a Chief in 3 days, and posted a highlight clip of Jameson Williams. So he was trying to say that Jameson Williams is going to be a Chief. Now, people are like, what the hell are you talking about? He was saying the Lions are going to trade Jameson Williams and a third-round pick for Sneed. To me, that's crazy talk. It's not happening. I know some people are like, I would do that in a heartbeat. I want Sneed. Then what are we doing at wide receiver? And I just don't see it happening for many reasons. Number one, it's a Chiefs fan blowing this smoke out there. And, you know, there's no even traction behind this. This is one fan who said this, and it blew up on the internet somehow. And people are like, well, what if? And all this stuff. No, it's not happening. First of all, we traded up in the first round to get the kid. The Lions knew he was going to be a red shirt type deal coming off of that injury. He was going to have to rehab pretty much the whole entire year, which he did. He did get some playing time in his first year, but they knew for the most part it was going to be red shirt. Second year, he did have the setback with the gambling issue, but he came through big time at the end of the year. And in the press conference just recently, Dan Campbell, he said Jameson Williams has been progressing. That's what they like to see. He got stronger as the season goes on, and he's going to be trying his hardest to be a full-time starter, and they like where he's at. Pretty much they like what Jameson Williams is doing. They say he's moving along exactly where he should be. Or that he was a little bit slower, but now he's starting to come into his own, and they're excited to see what he's going to do moving forward. So with those comments, we traded up to get him. He's going to be our wide receiver too. We don't know if we're bringing Josh Reynolds back, but we got Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams. Khalif Raymond's there, but he's a smaller receiver too. I just don't see it happening. Now, Chiefs fans can dream all day, but I have seen some Lions fans also saying that they would do that in a heartbeat to get Sneed because that's the missing piece for the Super Bowl. Yeah, we still have weapons on offense, but I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening, and I'm not doing it. I think there's still a ton of upside to Jameson Williams, and I think we haven't even seen close to what the kid is going to do in the league. So, me personally, even though it's stupid nonsense that a Chiefs fan is putting out there, I'm shutting that down right here. It's not happening. It's not happening, okay? But I'm gonna come back over here. I'm going to come back over here. Rick says, my pitbull says roof all day. He barks at everything. Zach says, honestly, the franchise tag is annoying. Yeah, and a lot of people I saw going off about that today, too. They were really mad about the franchise tag because of who could have been available to us and who's not available to us anymore unless we want to go and trade, because that's the only way you can get these guys now. And they do say L'Jarius Sneed is open to a trade. I haven't seen anything from anybody else on that yet. But, I mean, it's open. Anything's open right now, even though they're not making it public. L'Jarius Sneed did make it public. But it would probably take a lot to trade for these other guys, and then you'd have to pay him right away. So that's another reason why I would not trade for L'Jarius Sneed, especially not Jameson Williams, because you're going to have to pay him right away if you want to keep him around for a little bit longer than just a rental for 1 year. You know what I mean? All right. Sorry. Getting crazy over here. But, yeah, I mean, let's talk about some free agents who are available and maybe you would want to go and get. A lot of them are going to be expensive, but this is, and I'm looking at this one right now. I just picked it randomly. This is CBS Sports, who I don't even read from a lot, but I'm going off of their list. Their top free agents right now. They got Chris Jones, who I think he would be a game changer over here in Detroit, but I think he'd cost way too much money. But it'd be awesome to see him on that D-line, not going to lie. I don't think we do it, though, but it'd be awesome. Kirk Cousins, he's not coming here. Yeah, those guys, this must be an old list. But Christian Wilkins, Miami Dolphins D tackle, he's pretty good. I think he would cost some money too, but another position in need that we could go and get. Danielle Hunter from Minnesota. And, let me know. Chase Young's there. I did see that Derek was from Lions Syndicate. He was also making an argument for Chase Young, but I just don't see Chase Young fitting our mold. I think he played lazy in Washington, and even when you watched him in San Francisco for the few games, he wasn't that much of an X factor. And yeah, he was loafing. So I don't like Chase Young. I was initially mid-season, I was like, go get him, but I think I'm staying away from that. And then I see Calvin Ridley here. I've been seeing a lot of people saying, go get Calvin Ridley too. And, he might cost a lot, but maybe wide receiver is something that we need to address. I would maybe go for it in the draft, second round, like we've been talking about earlier, because I like what we have already with Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams. Maybe bring back Donovan Peoples-Jones. If Josh Reynolds can't go find a deal that he's looking for elsewhere, he's probably going to come back. So I think we're doing okay there, and we don't necessarily need to go get Calvin Ridley, but man, he would make that offense dangerous, even more dangerous than it already is. All right, Rick says, we all know Brad's not going to spend that kind of money in free agency. You're right. If he did, it would be for Hunter. Poach a division rival star player, I could see that, but no one else, and I would love that. That's the villain role, right? That's that Brad Holmes villain role. To where, yeah, he's like, let's go get this guy from a division rival, and now we're going to come to your house, and you're going to come to our house, and he's going to sack your quarterback all day long, whoever that is, because I hear some rumors that Justin Fields might be going to Minnesota and Kirk Cousins might be going to Atlanta. There's a whole bunch around that, but no matter what, I don't care. We're running the North for years to come, baby. I'm not scared, and you shouldn't be either, and I'm not saying that you are, but yeah, I would love to see us go and get Danielle Hunter. Out of those people that I just listed, he would be my favorite out of them all. That's me personally. Casey, what up? Good to see you in here. Holmes said upcoming draft deep in cornerbacks and wide receivers. Yes, and in O-linemen as well. I imagine Lions nap best player available with first 2 picks, then select the CBs and wide receivers. If luck has it, maybe first few picks, best players available are CBs. Yeah, and I could definitely see that too because of how deep it goes this year. And you're right, that's a great point right there. So we do have the ability and, to where we could go and get the best player available the first few picks and still have the luxury of getting a good corner, wide receiver, O-lineman later on in the draft. That is a great point there, Casey. And I think that is probably what they're going to do. And like you said, I personally hope that the best player available there at 29 or wherever we're at, if we trade up or trade back to get more picks, is a corner, because I think that is a huge position of need. And I want that personally. I want it personally, but what I want, they don't care about. We all know that. They don't care about what anybody wants. They care about what they want, and they're going to do that. J. Mommy, the Lions drafted Green last year. He averaged 18.9 yards a catch. He should know the offense this year. Yeah, and I like Green. I think I talked about this last week. Somebody asked, what are we going to do at that wide receiver position if Josh Reynolds walks? And I did say, maybe we bring back Donovan Peoples-Jones. I think that he would have a better year next year because, he kind of came in late, had to learn the offense late. He did start to show a few glimpses. He made a few good catches, but I think he would be much better in the system next year. That's Donovan Peoples-Jones. But Antoine Green, yes, he was great in college. He's a burner. The guy, he can do some good things when he gets the ball in his hands. So I see him making a leap this year, and that's the Brad Holmes kind of way. Draft the guys, develop them, re-sign them. That's what they're talking about. That's what their method is. And I could definitely see him making a leap this year and them trusting him a lot more. Good point there, J. Mommy. Look out for Antoine Green to have more of a breakout season. Not like a breakout top-tier caliber. That would be amazing if he did. But look for him to make some noise and be a contributor in the offense for sure this year. Great point, J. Mommy. J. Mommy also says Derek has deep pockets. The whole team would be mostly free agents. Yeah, I know. He does like to go out and he wants to get somebody, and he's passionate. I see where he's coming from. He's my boy. But yeah, he definitely wants us to go and break the bank for a lot of these guys, and Brad Holmes is just not going to do that. We all know that. But all right, yeah. Is there anybody in particular that you want us to go out and get? Does anybody have a dream free agent right now that you want to see the Lions go out and pick up with the money that they have? Or do you just want us to re-sign guys? Would you rather have us use it on bringing back C.J. Gardner-Johnson? Guys like that. I personally, like I said, I just mentioned it. Danielle Hunter would be great. Rick says that he thinks that that's the only guy he could see Brad making a splash on. And he's probably right. We're probably going to go out and sign a bunch of, guys that we haven't heard much about, or maybe we have, and we're just like, eh. But they're going to be Detroit-style guys. They're going to be guys that Brad Holmes sees something in, and that Dan Campbell sees something in. So get ready for that. That's just how we work. But free agency is coming up. It's here, March 11th. And expect news to come sooner. They're going to start making deals. But, the tagging, it's all over with. We're moving in to the prime time of the offseason, free agency, followed by the draft, all the good stuff. I'm here for it. But if there's no further questions, we're almost here on the hour, and I'm going to get out of here. But I'm going to stick around for another minute because I know it's a little delayed. Let me know if you have any other questions. But if not, I'll be back here next Tuesday like every single Tuesday. We can talk more draft. We can talk more free agency. Hopefully we've picked up some guys. Hopefully we've made some deals. Hopefully we brought back some guys. Hopefully we have more to talk about. But yeah, I'm here every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Detroit time, 3 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. on the West Coast. But I see these comments coming in. Rick says there might be a couple I'd get more excited for than others, but I'm not going to cry about it if we don't. I'm with you. Yeah. Same. I'm pretty much feeling the same. Zach J. Dream free agents are Bobby Boucher and Uncle Rico. I mean, we're winning the Super Bowl year after year after year after year if we got those guys. Or Joe Montana is good too, but I'd rather take Uncle Rico, yeah. I'm with you there. Hatter's House, Lions by 1 million. That's right. We're winning the draft. We're going to win free agency. Lions by 1 million. Love it. Came here for that comment. That's what's up. Casey says, free agents. I think Holmes should stay the course. Short-term, mid-money for potential upside while continuing to build through the draft. Not media sexy, but effective. Yeah, like he said, he likes to win in December, not in March. And I like how he does little prove-it deals. You know, we always kind of get somebody who is a good caliber on a one-year deal, and you're like, oh, dang, how did he get that? Like C.J. Gardner-Johnson this last year, I wish he would have stayed healthy, but I was shocked when we ended up picking him up. And I'm hoping that, like you said, we go out, kind of do a few more of those, a little prove-it deal here and there, and just fill the void for this year because it's Super Bowl or bust, baby. It's Super Bowl or bust. Let's go out, get the pieces. It's only going to take a year because we're winning it this year. We're winning it. Well, 2025, but this coming season, it's the Lions' year, baby. It's the Lions' year. All right. That's going to do it for me today. I hope to see you all next week. Like I said, 5 p.m. next Tuesday, Detroit time, 3 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. West Coast. This is Touchdown Detroit Lions with Nick Harkson. Have a great day, everybody. Peace.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Oh, baby, that is big-time stuff! Touchdown, Detroit Lions!